That's how you open.
Good morning, Nadine. How are you? How are you?
Good morning, Jackie. So happy to be back.
Yes. So I was just telling Nadine I'm busy reading the book The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. I always thought it was Guy. And he asks you to commit to, certain affirmations and, programming your subconscious. And he has the saying that so his saying is, I commit to living in my zone of genius now and forever. And Nadine and I have just decided we're going to change it because, you know what, we have to change things up and spice things up a little bit. So I now live in my zone of genius all the time.
That feels so amazing and good. I have goosebumps, Jackie. Look, I don't know if you can see it, but that feels so right.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? It's all about that affirmations, programming your subconscious, and just believing that everything is always working out for you. And it does. It so does.
So does. And I love also to create them day by day, or let's say also time by time. So there is always new things coming up, and with that you can change the affirmations and grow, make them better. And the beautiful thing is that you can always feel when it's right, when it's, as you said, spiced up, because sometimes we say something over and over, so our subconscious doesn't anymore how shall I say, receive it or consciously dwell on it. And that's why it's so important to also from time to time spice up or change the affirmations to your next level kind of affirmations. And I love doing that, as you know.
Positive programming.
Yes, yes. And not only that, it's like really living by your truth, right? Because that I am in my zone of genius is just the truth.
Yeah.
And everything else would be making myself small.
Well, this is
And so now, knowing that I'm in my zone of genius, I can finally feel comfortable to unfold, to just show this genius, spread it to the world and make the world a better place, because I can, I would say.
Now, what we recognize is when we say those, and this is where toxic positivity comes in, okay, is when we say those affirmations, but deep down in our hearts or our bellies, we're thinking, oh God, I'm talking nonsense to myself, So just be aware of catching yourself doing that, because I can say I now live in my zone of genius, but what does my programming say to me? No, 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 no. Catch yourself and believe, change the things to believe that I am now living in my zone of genius.
Yes, and that's maybe what I was referring to. You can feel when it's right. You can feel that you are connected. And since we're reading You Too Can Be Prosperous, and many of the listeners know that I started in a place of dire financial lack. And so it was very difficult for me to say, I am prosperous, I am rich, because my subconscious knew that is not true. So what I learned from The Subconscious Mind, the book by Dr. Joseph Murphy, was if you cannot connect to I am rich, I am prosperous, so try to first connect to just the word. What is wealth? How does wealth feel? How does richness feel? How does prosperity feel? And once I can connect to, I know what this is in general, like what prosperity is as a term, how it feels, because it's not something I can, it's a concept. So how does the concept feel? And then I can move myself in, oh, I now feel prosperous. So sometimes it's little moments, seconds, minutes. So then you make it hours, then you make it days, and that's how you live. Ultimately, you live in prosperity. Because, and that's why we're here, you too can be prosperous.
Right. So where are we, Nadine? So we're on page 98, the Chinese.
Exactly. Yes.
Are we at the bottom of the page?
Yes.
All right. So the Chinese have a precept that says, not to correct our faults is to commit new ones. Wow. Isn't that so appropriate to what we've just been discussing?
Exactly, yeah.
Catching those thoughts and stopping them, because you know what? You'll just be faulting over and over again. I love that. Most of us want to correct our faults, but before we can do that, we must see that they are faults and recognize. And you know what? I don't actually like the word faults. It's just a subconscious programming. Okay. Don't beat yourself up at all. That's, a lot of people are doing that, or they talking down to themselves. So don't look at it, if your concept of faults creates a negative feeling within you, just look at it. I love to call it my areas of development, because I can change it.
Exactly, my opportunities to learn. But that's also why the title of this section today is Prosperity in Thoughts, because the thoughts are actually a gift. It's a gift to learn something, to be reflected how something doesn't work or how you want to make it better. So that's how you learn. Unless you make thoughts, you cannot learn, you cannot ascend, right?
Correct.
So
Yeah.
let's celebrate those thoughts and feel comfortable with making them and learn the lessons.
Correct. Exactly that. So we must admit to ourselves that failure to be prosperous is the result of a lack within ourselves. Let us examine ourselves to see what is wrong with our beliefs about prosperity. Since the basic magnet of opulence lies in our consciousness, the fault must be in our thought. Somewhere along the line, we have been sidetracked. We have taken a detour. We have strayed. What is it that we have forgotten? It is man's promised domination over all the earth. We have accepted the belief that prosperity is something outside of us instead of something within us.
So true. So true.
What we have forgotten, all right, I'm repeating what I've just said. It is man's promised, sorry, I was going to read that again. We have taken a detour. We have strayed. What is it that we have forgotten? It is man's promised dominion over all the earth. We have accepted the belief that prosperity is something outside of us instead of something within us. The only thing that stands between us and our prosperity is a belief in two powers instead of one. When we can bring these two beliefs into perfect agreement, we shall have a steady stream of prosperity in our lives.
That is so beautiful to know. That is so true.
Yeah.
So let's just go there, just know that your prosperity is within. And again, if you want to find it, if you don't know how to connect to your own prosperity, so there is a way. There is the program Thinking into Results that Jackie and I teach. And there it's really about learning these different ways to think and to embrace your powers from within and the thinking faculties, to get to know how they're not something
Out there.
esoteric or so, but they're really a physical thing creating your reality. And once you understand that, you hold the key to your prosperity. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So go for it.
Don't be stuck anymore. You know what? Stop being, don't be stuck.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it. Mm-hmm.
We leave it there for today. That was so beautiful. I want to digest that little bit. Remember, it's not outside of us, it's within us. So just to really focus on that for the next couple of days and think about, what are my thoughts saying to me? What are my choices I'm making?
Exactly. And then write it. So that's exactly such a thought. If you are not right now living the prosperous life you imagine yourself, so there is a thought. So as you said, Jackie, rather than bashing ourselves for it, let's celebrate, to recognize it, to embrace it, and take the next step. You will love it. Prosperity is such a beautiful place to be, and you have it in your hands. Take
So
action. That's it.
thank you, everybody, and have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you same place, same time next week.
Absolutely. Bye bye.